What is going on? It is a early morning, late night, whatever you want to call it, stream about the Baltimore Ravens. I wanted to do this stream earlier, but for a lot of you, you were watching the Texas Georgia game, which lived up to all the hype. This is why I did not stream earlier. But what I did do is I made a bet with a friend, and they said, "Hey, if you stream this late at night, I guarantee you will get 200 likes on this video." And I'm like, I don't think so. So the bet has been laid, and we are here to discuss some of the Baltimore Ravens. It's not going to be a very long live stream because, as I see right now, there's nobody in here, and I'm cool with that. Oh, I see some people popping in here right now. I do appreciate you guys for showing up. It is late at night, not much going on. I got to get up in about 5 hours, but let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. And as you can see by the title, it says, "Can the Baltimore Ravens offense be stopped?" And to me personally, I don't think so. We have Derrick Henry leading the league in rushing. And to me, he was an addition that should have been made last season, but better late than never. And with him, the Ravens should be able to go further in the playoffs than they have in any previous season in the Lamar Jackson era. But to me, the thing that's going to make this team more successful, in my opinion, in my view, is Lamar Jackson. And an article just came out. I guess Lamar Jackson went on a podcast, and said the game of football is starting to slow down for him. So with all the talent that Lamar Jackson has, with all the amazing things that he has done throughout his 7-year career, the game is starting to slow down. And these things happen when you start to encounter some of the greats of the NFL. So with the game slowing down and him being able to carve up defenses, I think that this Ravens offense is going to be truly unstoppable. But for some reason, the Baltimore Ravens like to do an either or type situation. So it's either one thing or another. Either it's the defense playing well or the offense is not, and vice versa. And this season, defense just is not living up to expectations. But once again, we got Lamar Jackson. He is our quarterback. And for him, it has to be a ton of pressure laid upon his shoulders. For someone growing up to be the most talented player on the field, each and every time you step on it, there is a ton of expectations. And for me, Lamar Jackson is it. He's just the best quarterback. Like, I don't know what it is. And shout out to Danity. I don't think that I'm slick. And I know it's midnight. Somebody dared me to come on and do a live stream. I didn't want to do it, as I said before. I don't really like live streaming as much. Like, it is, I like making videos, but I figured that I had to put something out because I have not made a video in days. So we're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens for a little bit, just a tad. So my question to you all is, do you want Lamar Jackson to win a third MVP title? Now, for me, I think it would be spectacular for him to be back-to-back MVP. It would be spectacular for us to say we have a 3-time league MVP on our team. But to me, that puts a little bit more pressure on Lamar Jackson's shoulders because he would be the first quarterback in NFL history, or the first player in NFL history to have 3 MVPs and no Super Bowl titles. Now, all this can change come this postseason, but as of right now, I don't even want to think about MVPs. We're entering week 7 of the NFL season. It's too early to decide a front runner. And yes, Bradley, I know. I told you I was going to live stream Bradley, so here I am. You said, what? You said, turn this off and go live. I mean, you know, I may come back tomorrow and do something. I don't know. I just want to get on here and talk a little bit about the Ravens and some other stuff. You know, Lamar Jackson, decent quarterback. But listen, let me tell you a story. Today was the first time ever I was at Costco's in Owens Mills. I was at Costco, and this gentleman called out my name. So I want to shout out Julian, because this is the first time ever somebody has recognized me in these Baltimore streets. And it kind of shocked me and surprised me. He introduced me to his wife. Very nice couple. I appreciate it, but it was kind of weird for me for somebody to recognize who I am. Anyway, I wanted to give him a shout out back into this Baltimore Ravens stuff. So for the people in the chat, for the people watching on replay, let me know what you think the Achilles heel of this Baltimore Ravens team is, because during the offseason, we all thought that the Baltimore Ravens Achilles heel was going to be this offensive line. And to me, they have played a little bit better. There was an article put out the other day stating that the Baltimore Ravens offense is ranked top 10 in the league. Now, they always say, believe none of what you see and some of what you heard. I don't believe a lot of things that I read online, especially these publications geared towards Baltimore Ravens content. I do believe that the Baltimore Ravens offensive line has played a lot better than they have in the past. But to say that they are a top 5 offensive line right now, I don't know. Can they get there? It's quite possible. But do you guys think that this Baltimore do you think that this Baltimore Ravens offensive line is one of the best in the league? Do you think that Todd Monken is actually scheming things up to kind of hide the weaknesses of this team? Or are they just really playing well? Have we underestimated them, and EDC knew all along what this offensive line can be? I will admit that Daniel Faalele is playing a lot better than he had in the past. Like when he first started out, he wasn't touching anybody. Now he's touching 1 or 2 players per game. So let me know in the chat. Let me know on the replay how y'all feel about that. And yes, this is real, Devon. I'm here. I'm testing some things out. It was a bet that I had with somebody. You know me, I can't turn down a bet. So I'm here. And it was not the Fells Point Mafia. Remember, it was Owens Mills, which is nowhere close to Fells Point. Yeah, I mean, I do believe some of the things that I do see on TikTok. I will admit that. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Listen, I appreciate you guys for being here with me. It is 12:30 in the morning. So we're here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let me know how you feel about this offensive line. He really doing a full breakdown. The sun is not about to come up, Danity. We have many hours. I got to get up when the sun comes up. So there's that. Oh, I see a new face in here. What's going on? When will Keat Mitchell be active? Hopefully, Keat Mitchell will not be active until at least week 10, in my summation. Week 10, he may be active. He may get a couple of snaps. I don't think that we need him particularly at this point, because when is he going to get on the field? Derrick Henry is getting the bulk load of the carries, and then you sprinkling a little bit of Justice Hill. Justice Hill is doing his thing. I used to think Justice Hill was just a novelty. He was just somebody we had to use because we didn't have anybody else. But now he's out there doing his thing. And with Keat Mitchell coming back from injury, and we should have learned from people like David Ajabo, you don't want to rush these players back too fast, because if you do, they end up getting injured again. And we may need him during this playoff run as a change of pace back if John Harbaugh trusts the young running back. But I do think he may be active by week 10 or 11, but I don't think that he's going to play very much. And shout out to Yolanda, who went live earlier this evening. Her and B-More, he went live probably about 30 minutes ago. So, you know, we out here trying to give you some of this YouTube content. Who need to get on the stream? Are you talking about Yolanda? Yolanda already did the stream, Brodney. Yes, Yolanda already did the stream. And I was going to talk about that. But the Tytus Bowser saga is still lingering. Tytus Bowser, if you do not know, he just filed a grievance against the Baltimore Ravens for $4.5 million because his last season in Baltimore last year, he did not get paid. Now, there was a dispute on the reason why he was out. Some of the rumors and speculation was he got injured playing basketball or doing something else, which got him on the NFI list. And when you're on the NFI list, teams can choose whether or not they want to pay you your salary. And the Ravens, being cash strapped as they always are, decided we ain't paying you. So Tytus Bowser filed his grievance saying that he had an issue with the Ravens team doctors, stating that he could play when he said he wasn't physically able to. His own doctor said, yeah, he's not ready. So that difference between him and the Baltimore Ravens caused a conflict. He did not see the field last year, and now he's on another team. I believe he's on Seattle, or he was on Seattle's practice squad, and somebody signed him. I can't remember who, but yeah, Tytus Bowser, if he gets that money, that's going to eat away at next year's salary cap, if I am not mistaken. I asked Brian to come on the show. He didn't want to come on the show, so I had to do it myself. But yes, we got the sizzle. It's the same thing. But I do think that they paid Terrell Suggs because he was a cornerstone of this defense. He was one of those legendary Baltimore Ravens players, and they did not want to alienate him, whereas Tytus Bowser, last year was his deal. They knew that they weren't going to keep him. because of that conflict between him and the head coach and the organization. It's not a lie, Bradley. It is the truth. So without Tytus Bowser, one of the more dynamic players on the team, what do you feel about this defense? Do you feel that this defense has done enough? There have been publications, once again, from Baltimore Ravens stating that this defense is getting better. They're playing well. I heard that Marcus Williams had his best week of practice that he's had in a long time. And to me, some people speculate he's been hurt or he's still hurting. Only thing that I think is hurting is Marcus Williams' game. And he may turn out to be the biggest free agent bust in Baltimore Ravens history. Now, Yolanda and I were talking about this earlier, and we were having a debate on whether it was going to be him or Elvis Grbac. For some of you, if you are old enough and you've been a Ravens fan long enough, you know that Elvis Grbac came in after the Super Bowl season and fleeced the team out of a large contract, got on the field, and somebody made him cry. I can't remember, but there are pictures of him crying on the field, shedding tears, and he abruptly retired after that season, leaving the Baltimore Ravens stuck in salary cap hell without a QB. Some say we should have kept your boy Trent Dilfer, but they went out and tried to get somebody else that they felt could upgrade this passing game. So there's that. But to me, Marcus Williams may be one of the biggest busts in Baltimore Ravens history. And speaking of Marcus Williams and trading for a player, I want to talk about trades for a second. I'm trying to get through this real fast because I'm not trying to keep y'all long. It's real late. As far as trades go, and this is the issue that I have with a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans. And we say this all the time. When it comes to offense, y'all tell me this ain't Madden. What do you know about football? How can you run a team? You can't sign everybody. But with the defense playing as poorly as it is, people want to go here and trade for defenders. People want to go out and trade for Haason Reddick, who was given permission to seek a trade in the last week. But if I'm not mistaken, Haason Reddick is looking for a new contract. So not only do we have to pay his prorated salary for the year, he wants to be paid in the future. But of course, we don't have money to pay a player. So how can we pay Haason Reddick? But more importantly, with the Devontae Adams trade, the Las Vegas Raiders may be trying to do a fire sale and just start fresh. Just get rid of all that salary, start brand new. They need a quarterback. They need so many pieces that they're trying to get draft picks so they can build this team up. And that brings me to Maxx Crosby. Ravens flock, you all seem to be very excited for the possibility of the Ravens trading for Maxx Crosby. We saw what he did to the team when we played the Raiders in week 2. We saw what he's doing against the rest of the league. But to me, how can we not trade for Brandon Ayuk and give him a new contract when this ain't Madden and we don't have the money for it? But Maxx Crosby is in the second year of a $94 million contract. So for those of you Ravens fans that always say we don't need on offense and how can we afford this on offense, why are you telling us now that we need to go get Maxx Crosby, who has about $76 million left on his deal, plus the prorated portion of the deal that he has for this year? How can we afford that? If this ain't Madden and teams can't create salary cap freedom, how are they going to trade for him? And then more importantly, on Thursday, it really blew my mind that I heard the Ravens should trade for Marshawn Lattimore, the cornerback for the New Orleans Saints. Marshawn Lattimore would cost us about $10 million this year. Yeah, and they tried to what's up, RouG? They tried to throw out there we should get Jamal Adams. Now, Jamal Adams would be a cheaper option because he was released. You can sign him for whatever. But the Marshawn Lattimore deal, I'm not understanding. We already have Brandon Stevens, 3rd round pick. We have Marlon Humphrey, 1st round pick, $98 million contract. We have 1st round pick Nate Wiggins. We have, to some, the savior, Arthur Millette. Where's Marshawn Lattimore going to fit into this picture? More importantly, Marshawn Lattimore has a $31 million cap hit in 2025 and a $28 million cap hit in 2026. How are we going to afford him? Ravens flock, you let me know. If we don't have the salary cap money to pay for these offensive players, how are we going to find this money to pay for defensive players? Because salary cap does not discern between offense and defense. It is for the entire team. So how are they going to get this money? And this is where I have a real problem with Ravens fans, that we have been so brainwashed that we need defense. We've allocated so much money, so much time, so many people into this defense, but yet and still we need more. Yet while the offense, while it is ranked in the top 5 of the league, we don't know what's going to happen come playoff time. We do the same song and dance every season. We look well, we dominate during the regular season. This offense can't be stopped. And then we get into the playoffs, and what happens? We can't score. We cannot score. We average 12 points a game in the Lamar Jackson era. Offensively, we average 12 points per game in the playoffs. Take away the Houston Texans game, 9.9 points per game. But yet and still, we need more defense. Defensively, we've stopped Josh Allen. We've shut down Patrick Mahomes. We've shut down Joe Burrow. The team has given up, I believe, 13.7, 13.9 points per game in the playoffs in the Lamar Jackson era. So you're telling me we're holding teams under 2 touchdowns, but we can't score 2 touchdowns, but we need more defense. But we can always find money for this. And this is the issue that I have. And this is the divisive topic that we always kind of have arguments with the other side is, why do we care so much defensively? I don't care how many pieces you put together. I don't care who you bring in. The way that the NFL is designed today, you aren't going to stop teams. When they get into a rhythm, when they get into a flow, it is hard to slow teams down. But if you can outscore them, you will win the game. And that's just plain and simple. So let me know how y'all feel about this defense. Let me know what you guys feel about adding a defensive piece, who the Ravens should trade for, if they should make a trade by the November 4th deadline. To me, I still think they need a wide receiver. Yes, Zay Flowers is playing well. Yes, Rashad Bateman is performing better than he has in the past. But can we really trust him to stay healthy? And I like Rashad Bateman. Like, I wanted the Ravens to draft him, and I think that he's going to perform well. But can we trust him going forward to play 17 games and then get into the playoffs and go on a run and be productive and be healthy? I would feel a lot safer if Lamar Jackson had that guy when we get into passing situations that he's like, yo, I can just throw it up to him and he can go out there and get the ball. So let me know how you feel. We should have gotten DeAndre Swift instead of Henry. You still believe it? Well, I mean, listen, for a lot of us, people think that we didn't want the Ravens to go out and get Derk Henry. The thing was, with his age and with the number of carries that he's had throughout his career, we did not know how productive he was going to be. I still think to this day, and I like Derrick Henry. I've always liked him. The Ravens should have drafted him, and I've been saying that since the draft, since 2016. But I do think that with what the Ravens are doing, Saquon Barkley would have meshed a little bit better with this team because he can catch out the backfield. Like, he can do more damage. He can do a little more than what Derrick Henry can do. And he can be more interchangeable with Justice Hill. When you have Saquon in the game, you don't know if it's a run play or you don't know if it's going to be a pass play. And these are some big keys and some big advantages that the offense can have over teams. When we get to the playoffs, you see it in baseball, you see it in college football, basketball, you see it in all other sports. No matter how well a team plays during the regular season, once you get into the postseason, things slow down and you get the best out of teams. They practice and they prepare for your tendencies. They have 17 games worth of film to watch to see what you do best. And this is why we kind of struggle in the playoffs, because teams know what's coming and we try to be smart and switch it up and do other things. But with a Saquon Barkley, you don't know what's going to hit you. But I am glad that the Ravens have Derrick Henry. I'm glad that the Ravens actually went out and got Lamar Jackson, somebody that can shoulder the load when it comes to rushing the ball. What's going on, Jared? What's up, Reg? Jay, how you doing? Tone Smoke. That's what we like, Tone Lope. It wasn't about production. It was about what we had to give. What we had to give for who? For which one? For which one? Because if you're talking about what we had to give up as far as money for Saquon Barkley, we're willing to give that up for the defenders. We're willing, or Ravens flock at least, is willing to give up 80-something, 70-something million dollars to pick up Max Crosby and his contract. But yet and still, we have a $98 million defensive tackle. We have a $100 million linebacker. We have a $70 million safety. We have a $98 million cornerback. And you want to add another $80 million on top of that to the defense? when it comes to defense, there are no bounds. There are no boundaries. There are no rules. We can pick up anything over Henry. Yeah, I'm not understanding it. But just for me, I just for once, even if it's just for this season alone, go hard, go all in on the offense and see what happens. What can it hurt? We've tried going defense first. We did it in 2017. I'm sorry, we did it in 2018. Didn't work. 2019 didn't work. 2020 didn't work. 2022 didn't work. 2023 didn't work. So what would it hurt for this team to actually go forward offensively and say, you know what? Let's get Lamar the pieces that he deservedly needs and should have as a franchise quarterback. And I'm not trying to slight anybody on the team, but regular season, we always look good. Always. And then when we get to the playoffs, we run into the same thing. And right after the playoff game, Ravens flock is like, hey, we need to get more help. We need to get more offense. We need to get better. And then a couple months later when the draft rolls around, like Red said, first round cornerback. Excuse me. First round cornerback. We need to draft more defense. We need more defense to stop people. You're not going to stop people. If somehow miraculously the Cincinnati Bengals turn things around and get into the playoffs, when we see them, we're not stopping Jamal Chase and T. Higgins. We're just not going to stop them. We just have to outscore them like we did in the last game. Buffalo Bills, they added Amari Cooper. Like they're doing things to get better. We see them in the playoffs. Defense may not be able to stop them. We have to outscore them. Patrick Mahomes, we don't know what the Chiefs are going to do by the deadline. I, for the most part, guarantee that Brett Veach is going to go out there and acquire somebody. He's going to upgrade that receiving core, and we're not going to be able to beat them defensively because as of right now, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is much better than what the Baltimore Ravens are putting out there. So we have to get the offensive pieces to stop them. This isn't about regular season awards. This isn't about having the best record in the league. This is about winning a chip for Lamar Jackson. We have him for 2 years. So I'm sorry. What's up, MDT? We have him for 2 years. So we have him for next year as well. He's under contract for next year. And I don't think that there's going to be an issue unless he gets 2,000 yards and he wants a raise. But outside of that, Derrick Henry is signed for next year. Hopefully he can continue the trajectory that he's on. Hopefully he can play this way. But if we win a Super Bowl this year, I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't care what he does next season. If we can get Lamar a Super Bowl win this season, we can worry about all that stuff later. And Jeremiah, what's going on? Appreciate you dropping by. This is early in the morning. Get up in like 5 hours. But I just wanted to come on here. Like I said, I had a bet with somebody about getting 200 likes on this video. So I'm going to win either way. If I don't get it 200, I'm going to win the bet. If I get 200, it means you rock with your boy. And I really do appreciate it. Also, speaking of that, I want to thank y'all. And I want to get suggestions. I really want to thank y'all because as a channel, we just hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. So, of course, I'm going to have to do a giveaway. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the replay. What do you think an appropriate giveaway is going to be? Because I, as well as my people, we really appreciate you guys helping me build up this channel, getting it to heights that I never saw coming. Like I never thought that I would get this many people holding it down for me. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think something will be. That'll be nice to give away to show my appreciation to you guys. All right. Devon, what's up? He said, DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs, one of them. We can beat Mahomes. Have we? What are we, 1-5? And it took a fumble at the end of the game to win that one. So can we beat them? And here's the thing. The Kansas City Chiefs, once they reach the playoffs, are the opposite of the Baltimore Ravens. No matter how bad they're playing during the regular season, when the playoffs start, if Travis Kelce's having a bad year, he turns it up a notch. If Patrick Mahomes has been playing bad the last 7 games, he turns it up a notch. So, I don't know. We haven't proved that we can consistently beat Patrick Mahomes yet. And to be the man, you have to beat the man. And unfortunately, for whatever reason it is, we haven't beat the man. And that's them. And yes, Devon, it is amazing. Like, yo, when I saw that number, I almost started to cry. I was like, yo, this is wild. Appreciate you. Yeah, consistency and knowing what you're talking about is key. 100%. If we win the Super Bowl with Derrick Henry, from there on, he'll be known as Derrick. Hey, don't you start. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. I don't want to be considered toxic. Yeah, man. Oh, I ain't beating nobody. Calm down. Oh, I ain't doing nothing. Oh, no doubt. Listen, Lamar Jackson right now, he's the best quarterback in the league, hands down. I take nothing away from Sam Darnold, who's balling out. I don't consider that he'll do this for the rest of the season because he's starting to show cracks as of now, and he's not really done it consistently throughout his career, even though he started with Adam Gase and he's been to a couple of teams. But I think the biggest thing for Sam Darnold and for Baker Mayfield, who is the next opponent for the Ravens, is the season that they spent with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. I think that really did a lot for both of them in their advancement as a quarterback. And you see Baker Mayfield balling out of control. You see Baker Mayfield doing things that nobody thought he could do. Now, he showed glimpses in his first season when he was with the Cleveland Browns, but it's been downhill from there. He played decent with the Carolina Panthers, but you know what I mean? There you go, my man. Make sure y'all go check out my man, Be More Show. He just streamed he streamed like an hour ago. Dope content. You know what I'm saying? Check him out. Support Ravens content creators. That is my biggest thing. Don't care who they are. Just go out, support them. It takes nothing to hit that like button. It takes nothing to watch them. Listen, even for me, if you just put my video on, let it play in the background. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all. You think the refs cheat for the Chiefs? I mean, I do think that the Chiefs get a lot of favorable calls. I do, but for me, when it comes to anything that you do, I think that preparation is key. So for me, if I know I'm going to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, I'm preparing for the Chiefs and I'm preparing for the refs. So that means that my team has to be disciplined enough not to hit the quarterback in the face, not to stand over top of receiver and throw the ball down and get personal foul penalties. Like, we already know they're going to get certain calls. So to circumvent all of these things, I need to play my best football. So whether they're cheating or not, we still have opportunities to beat certain teams. We just have not done it. Question from Yolanda. Is this the first of many late night streams with Hendo? It is not. It is not. I just had a bet with somebody. And, I honestly wanted to get on here to thank the people for the 5,000 subscribers and see what I could kind of do to kind of give back, to show my undying appreciation for what everybody's done. But yes, this offense is, listen, the way that they looking, who can stop us? If we stick to this ground game, if the offensive line continues to get better and better, and Lamar Jackson continues to dice up teams the way that he's doing it, who can stop us? Now, I will say, if we continue the way that we're playing now, the Kansas City Chiefs have no shot. Yes, the Chiefs are undefeated at this point of the season, but they are not playing well. Like, they're eking out games from their defense. But offensively, if they don't pull it together when it gets to the playoff time, they're going to be out in the first game. Yes, listen. And I'm glad you brought this point up, Jared. This is for the Ravens fans that say the offense is great. We don't need another wide receiver. Let's roll with everything that we have. A lot of Ravens fans are new, and I'm not blaming anybody for when they became a Ravens fan or how long you've been a fan. But if you've watched the progression of the quarterbacks in this offense, because we run a certain style of offense, once Joe Flacco, who played well in himself, once he got a receiver that he could throw the ball up to, a la Anquan Bolden, he went on a whole nother level. I don't know why, but the Super Bowl run of 2012, I remember each and every game. I don't know why, but I remember each and every game. And there was a play in the Colts game where Lamar Jackson threw the ball up. And I think your boy from Pat McAfee stream, can't remember, it's Darius Butler, if I'm not mistaken is his name. He threw the ball up. Anquan Bolden snatched it out there. Gimme. The Super Bowl. It was a third down in the third quarter. Early in the fourth quarter, Ravens needed the first down. Threw the ball up. Anquan Bolden went and got it. We don't have that guy right now. We have guys that fit into the system that we have. We have guys that do what they need to do. But once again, I need playoff production. I don't need regular season performance. So, you know what I'm saying? That's right. That's right, Sean. That's what I'm talking about. He live now. Let's not worry about the future. Let's worry about right here and right now. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Appreciate you, Jared. And yes, the Ravens beat themselves, and a lot of it has to do with the coaching. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. But listen, 30 minutes. I honestly didn't believe anybody was going to step up in this stream. I thought I was going to be in here and talk to myself for a couple of minutes. It'd be out. It'd be. So there's that. But listen, I got a question for y'all before I leave. There's a quarterback in the NFL, because I'm always shout my boy out. I'm always going to shout my mans out. There's a quarterback in the NFL right now who has the longest streak of throwing 2+ touchdowns in a game. Can you name who the quarterback is and how many games it's been? It should be easy because this is Baltimore Ravens channel, but if you know, you know. And my man is out here doing his thing. Longest streak in the NFL. The record is 15 straight games. And I think that's held Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. I can't remember who it is. First of all, Brian, I didn't say no touchdowns. I didn't say a streak of no touchdowns in NFL starts. Nope. I'll tell you how many games it is. Can't be Jaden Daniels because it's 8 straight games. 8 straight games of at least 2 touchdowns per game. And it'll surprise you because it surprised me. And I was like, him? Why couldn't he do that before? But I'm proud of my guy. And of course, it's going to be Joseph Vincent Flacco. 8 straight games of at least 2 touchdowns apiece. Nobody else can say that. Now, Calais Campbell's with the Dolphins, and appreciate you for the $5 super chat. He says, I don't know if Calais Campbell's retired, but I would like it if we picked him up. He's with the Dolphins. He was a part of, unfortunately, that little dust up with Tyreek Hill and the police with the Miami PD. He was one of the guys that got put in handcuffs. So, you know what I mean? Once again. So Sean, my question to you is this. What difference is Calais Campbell going to make for us defensively? And because I think personally, the strongest unit on the defense is the defensive line. Like Travis Jones is doing his thing. Michael Pierce is playing well. Broderick Washington, I mean, sometimes even when they slip Brent Urban in there, he does knock down a few passes. But what is Calais Campbell going to do? Because as far as sacks go, he was starting to decline when it came to pressures and sacks during his last year as a Baltimore Raven. Now we are 2 years removed from that? I don't think that he still has that level of play in him. I don't know what he's going to he would actually do for the same. Now, as far as character guys go and maybe teaching the younger guys, he may be good in that. But outside of that, I mean, performance-wise, I don't know. And I think it says a lot that you don't know that he's still in the NFL because he's not really making plays like that. But if it's character, if it's teachable moments, 100%, but just going out of our way to get him, I think we have the defense. I think we have the defensive players and personnel to get it right. Maybe coaching needs to step up because this is the same defense that was number 1 across many stats last year. And I think the biggest stat that is hurting the Baltimore Ravens right now, and it's not even the yardage that they're giving up, I think it's the fact that they're not creating turnovers. I think for the season, the Ravens have 3 interceptions all year long. We're heading into week 7, and they have 3 interceptions. Now, the Ravens went out there and got them a first-round pick in Nate Wiggins, who's dropped 3 interceptions by himself. Derrick Washington had a punt right to him. Dropped that. Like, they're just not creating the turnovers that we're used to from a Baltimore Ravens defense. The yardage, I mean, you can do the bend, don't break thing. But in the past, when our defense used to give up chunk yards played, even in the 2000 season, I think there was a story about the Cleveland Browns. I think it was the Cleveland Browns. When they played in week 3, I believe, and they played against Spurgeon Wynn. He was the quarterback. I know a lot of you not going to know who Spurgeon Wynn was. And I think on the first series of that legendary defense, the Cleveland Browns went 78 yards down the field and scored a touchdown. First drive. Killing them. And then the rest of the game, turnover. I think they may have had 30 yards for the rest of the game, if that. So that bend but don't break has been etched in the DNA of the Baltimore Ravens defense, but just for some reason now, they can't seem to create turnovers. They get the pressures. Odafe Owe gets the whiffs. He has about 122 whiffs, if I'm not mistaken. He just breezes by the quarterback. fans them off real quick, but they're just not getting it done. So Calais Campbell, I don't know if that'll do anything for me. Who's this at my house? 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry about that. Why is there police at my house at 1 o'clock in the morning? This is crazy. All right, I got police at my house. I got to see what's going on. Hopefully something didn't go wrong. I will check you guys later. Thank you all. Appreciate it. I'm out.